This is my video response to the 7th evaluation question. The question is, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you've learnt in the progression to the full product? And having never done media at GCSE or having any real serious experience with cameras or the angles before, everything was new to me, like the terminology and the camera combination, everything was new. And so I had to learn it all as I went along. And this helped because I learned best practically. And I learned it by positioning all the shots and kind of watching others do it. So then I knew how to apply it. And I'd never used a Mac or editing before. So I had to just learn it all as we were editing the first preliminary task product. And for the main task, I overcame this because by drawing the storyboards, filming-wise, I was revising the various shots and applying them to a camera situation. And for editing, when we got onto the editing stage, we just looped everything, we took everything really slowly, and now I completely understand everything. So that was really helpful doing the prelim on that level. And I didn't change groups in the transition between the preliminary task and the main task because as a group we work really well together and we get all the work done for the deadlines and we build off each other's ideas, so we get everything done really quickly. And from making a longer film compared to the preliminary, and obviously due to never having done media before, I was shocked at the depth needed during the whole process of the main compared to the preliminary. And I found that you have to think more about the context of the piece and the various meanings it creates and the various representations and of every aspect. You have to keep your audience entertained for longer, which is more difficult. During the whole process, I found it is essential to research everything that you do, such as idents and genre research, which I would never have thought of if we hadn't have done this. And compared to the preliminary task, which was limited and didn't require much research, the main task has required huge amounts of research, and we created multiple storyboards and shooting scripts whilst planning to make sure we all knew what we were doing and make this made filming clearer and easier. And also when it came to editing, we knew what order we needed everything in. And it also measured our time management skills and whether we stick to deadlines or not. And I feel that I've kept to these well, and therefore I haven't fallen back, which has allowed me to go further depth in planning because I've had more time. And with creating a longer film, you need to think about the whole full-length feature film as well, not only the extract that we've created. So we thought about the whole film, not just the 2 minutes that we've made. You have to make it suit the genre, whereas for the preliminary we didn't really have a specific genre to apply our product to, and everything was there, and we had a specific criteria that we had to follow which told us what we needed to include. But with the main task we were given pretty free rein other than the genre, we could pick whatever we wanted within that genre. There was a longer creative process, planning and filming process with the main task. So for the prelim we only created one storyboard, whereas in a shooting script, but with the main task the storyboard took longer. We made a photo storyboard and we made quite a few drafts of the shooting script. We got feedback on the shooting script. It was a longer process, and I've learned that's what would happen in the real film industry. And I've learned that how vital research is when considering subgenres, such as the ident styles and production names and more. And it gives you a point on which to begin and keeps you focused on the correct genre, because you must always be checking you're including the right conventions and sticking to stereotypical features of that genre. Planning such as storyboards and shooting scripts kept our final product on a clear path, and as a group we were all aware of what was happening when, and it made filming and editing easier because we knew what shots we needed and what locations to go to. So it made it a quicker process, and from that I've learned that if we were to do it again, that's what we'd do again because it worked really well for us that time, and also that's partly because we work really well as a group. And if we were to do this process again, I'd make our product more stylised to the genre, such as changing the time of day we filmed it. If we did this again, I'd film it around dusk, as I think that time is more suited to the genre. I also make our plot clearer, straight from the beginning, because it's quite confusing at the beginning, but if you watch the whole film it would eventually make sense. But if the audience were confused at the beginning, then they just wouldn't bother to carry on, because the mind would just not focus enough. But I'd probably put more research on Blogger, because that'd probably help us stick more to the genre conventions of thriller. And I've learned that I work well alone, and which makes me able to stick to deadlines, but I enjoy working in a group and making a team effort. And I enjoyed watching the construction of our products as a group and deciding what to do all together, because it made it a team effort. And I found pressure on deadlines makes me work harder and put more effort in. Overall, in the progression from the preliminary task, I've learned that the importance of relevance of media language for long products. You need to think more about what each shot does and what's it going to do, and how that's going to create a specific audience and attract a variety of people. And I've learned how to use editing software effectively, which is something that I didn't know before doing any of these tasks. And the preliminary task really helped with that, else I wouldn't have been stuck. I wouldn't have known how to do anything. But by doing the prelim, it just got me used to the software and how the various effects you can use and how to use them. And I'm used to working on just paper, so I had to adapt to an electronic format, which is Blogger, and I've quite enjoyed using that, because it's a different way to present information, and it's been fun to learn how to use Blogger, because in future it'll probably be a vital thing for me to use. So overall, I've enjoyed creating our final product, and I've learned quite a lot from just during the progression. It's been helpful.